achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. This is Sustainable Development Goal 5. One of the targets of Goal 5 is to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls in the public and private spheres, including trafficking and sexual and other types of exploitation. I am Regina Larco, founder of #Impact, a podcast about stuff that matters. If this is the first time you listen, welcome. We are so glad you're joining us as we are leveraging the power of voice to drive positive change. In our current Season 5, we celebrate innovative changemakers tackling the Sustainable Development Goals. And today, you follow our co-host Belinda Esterhammer to a conversation with Teens Key. Teens Key is a registered non-profit organization dedicated to improving the lives of vulnerable young women and girls in Hong Kong. Teens Key works for and with marginalized young women and girls. This includes those who work in the sex industry, young women faced with unwanted pregnancy, and those vulnerable to sexual health risks. This is the first time a representative of Teens Key gets to share their story on a podcast, and it is a story that needs to get heard. The topics discussed in this episode are mature. Listener discretion is advised. Find more information about this podcast at #impact.com/season 5.
My name is Belinda Esterhammer, and I'm here today with Bowie Lam, founder and CEO of Teens Key. Welcome, Bowie. So great to have you here.
Hi, Belinda, and hello, everyone. This is Bowie.
Can you please tell us more about yourself and Teens Key?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in Hong Kong and born in Hong Kong. So when I turned 21, and I was still studying at the university, and I took an internship at Chi10, another NGO that is advocate for sex workers' rights. And the experience is just so inspiring. So long story short, I start the NGO right after the internship finished. And that Teens Key. So Teens Key is helping vulnerable young women in Hong Kong, especially who work in sex industry and then with unwanted pregnancy and difficulties with their sexual and reproductive health and rights.
I've been a fan of your work for several years now.
Thank you.
And whenever people are looking for a charity, an NGO to work with, you are really on top of my list. Can you please tell us more about how you got started with Teens Key and what inspired you to start?
Yeah, when I take an internship at Chi10, my role is to do outreaching. So I need to go to the one-woman brothel in Hong Kong. It's a very special format of sex work in Hong Kong because of the law. So the sex worker can only work by themselves. If you are more than one sex worker in an apartment, that's illegal. But if you work alone, that's okay. So if you see some pink neonite in some old building, that probably the one-woman brothel sex worker. So I need to go outreaching. So it's kind of exciting, when you're studying, when you're young, and you know that, I need to visit the sex worker. I have so many stigmas about sex worker from the movies or from the media. Is they're sexy, they are maybe a bad woman, I don't know. So I was so exciting. But when I have chance to get to know these women, it's totally break the past, the stigmas. They are just a normal women. They are someone's mother, someone's daughter. They have a family to support. So I build a really good relationship with some of the sex workers I visit. But sadly, in 2008, there was 2 serial killer. So when the killer haven't been arrested, we thought it's one, but actually there's another one, copycat killer. So they murdered 4 sex workers within, I think, 3 or 4 days. So during that period of time, the sex worker was very scared. The NGO are also working really hard to update the sex worker about the police process. So I need to talk with the sex worker too. So I visit one of the sex worker. She's kind of my auntie. It's like we are very close relationship. Every time I went there, she would give me soup. It's really nice. She's like just like auntie in your life. Mm-hmm. She's in about mid-40, and she's come from mainland China. And when I visit her and told her about the updates about the murderer, and she was just so scared. You can look in her eyes. She's very scary. However, she said she still need to work because she have a family to support in mainland China, including her children, her parents, her husband. So I think, why a woman have to work so hard to support their family? But in the meantime, most of the mainstream media is very, blaming about the sex worker. What they describe the murderer is like, how much money the sex worker earn, and then they even post the victim's photos on the newspaper. It just make me so angry. So it make me reflect that what can I do more for these sex workers. So after I graduate, I talked with the boss, the supervisor at Chitan. She is very generous to provide me a seed grant to start a new organization. So that's why I started, and I decided to focus to younger sex workers because I think that the faster we engage with them, the sooner we help them with their difficulties, the faster they can leave the sex industry or they can find their dream, the works they want to do. So, and then that was my first job. So I think that why not? Let's just start. If it's not success, I can try another thing. So that's why I started the organization.
That's amazing. Can you also give our listeners more insights into these sex workers that you work with? What are their dreams? For example?
Yeah. So for the sex workers I know, most of them are not decide to do sex workers in purpose. Somehow they are facing financial difficulties because of their family, because of their husband, boyfriend, or their own financial issues like debt, credit card, or other things. Some of them are they meet some friends that told them, I know this business can earn money, can solve your problems, so they started. But most of them is just young women, very ordinary young women. When I met them, it's just a teenager wear a sports shoes, t-shirt, jeans, and come to our center and tell, she's studying at school. She would like to doing some sports. She like doing makeup, but it's just very ordinary young women have so many different dreams. I met one girl. She's like cars so much, and then she have some difficulties. So she get into sex industry. But when we talk with them, what she want to do, she told us that she want to open a car repair shop.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's very interesting. You never can imagine a girls say the dream that she like cars so much, and then. She's awesome. When she hear the engine sound of some, I don't understand car, but she can differentiate from the brand from the car engine sound.
Wow.
Yeah. So the dream is just so different. We have girls that want to open a baker shop, want to be engineer, want to be teacher, want to be social worker. They're just ordinary girls.
So with these girls, how do you help them to get out of the sex industry if they want to or to follow their dreams?
Yes. So our main target or ultimate goal it's not only about getting them out of the sex industry. We want them to have the skills and confidence to open the door for their futures. So we do a lot of soft skills training, also with counseling because of their past experience. And then we will help them to make a plan for their future. For example, the girls who want to open car repair store, we suggest her to get a driving license first. It's very first step because in Hong Kong, you know that it's very difficult to open your own business. However, if you take it like step by step, you can learn how to drive a car first. So we met her for like 4 years ago. Now she have 4 different kind of driving license.
Wow.
And then she took part-time job for some company, but she also already have a very concrete plan that what she want to go. So sometimes the dream sounds very impossible, but if you break them like piece to piece, like plan it by step, you can achieve it. Somehow maybe not exactly the same that you want to do, but still the thing you enjoy. So we try to encourage them and help them to figure out how she can achieve it.
Would she also be interested in an apprenticeship as a mechanic? Or?
Yeah, maybe she's still working on it, but we at least think that, she has 4 driving licenses is already very good and closer to her dream.
That's amazing. If anybody has any connections with mechanics, get in touch with me, please.
Yeah, we need it. Thank you.
That's so lovely. And apart from your work and advocacy with sex workers, you do so many other things. Tell us more about it.
Yes. So for Teensky, we focus on vulnerable young women under 25 years old, especially with the difficulties for their sexual and reproductive health and right. Sex worker is one of our main community. Another is young mothers. We found that in Hong Kong, there's not many support for the girls with unwanted pregnancy, and then if they decide to become mothers. Because these girls, a lot of them don't have, they didn't get married, or their partner already disappear somehow, and they're still very young. Even if they have been married, their partner probably a very young boy too. So there's a lot of stress and challenges when you raise children, not only for young women, but also for everyone who have been the first time to be a parent too. But for the young women, especially, they don't have many money, they don't have many support, so it's very difficult. And we find this group of girls, especially, they are very serious about parenting. Sometimes because of the stigma, a lot of people think, you are so young, you can't be a good parent, especially when you were unwanted pregnancy. So they want to do more to prove to themselves maybe and the outside that they can be a good parent. And sometimes they forgot they are a young woman too. So for Teensky, we have launched a club called Young Mothers Club. So we invite the young mothers to be the committee of the Young Mothers Club. They lead the club, they recruit members, they decide what activities they want to do, even for advocacy too. So we want to train for their leadership skills, and they have a safe space to practice their leadership skill and encourage them to remember they have their own dream too. They are young women too. They are not only a mother. So we are very excited about this because last year, some of the members, they launched a survey to ask for the difficulties of the Hong Kong young mothers. And they send the result to the legislative councillor and say, there's not enough nursery support for young mothers or ordinary mothers in Hong Kong. So because there are not enough nursery support, so they can't go to work or go back to school. So we feel they are very inspiring. And as an organization, we definitely can't lead them because they are the person understand their situation the most. So the Young Mothers is also a very Young Mothers Club also a very exciting project for Teensky. Other than that, we also focus about reproductive health, especially for the girls who gone through abortions. There's not so many support in Hong Kong. especially under COVID, public hospitals have been stopped for non-emergency services, including abortion.
So they can't get an abortion here right now?
No.
Oh, wow.
And usually some people will go back to mainland China, but now obviously they can't. And the only place they can go is the Hong Kong Family Planning Associations. But there are some restrictions. If you're pregnant over 10 weeks, you can't do surgery there.
Oh, wow.
And then the rest are private hospital. And you can imagine the price.
Yeah.
It's around, in Hong Kong dollars, it's around 20,000 to 30,000. So for grassroots family or grassroots women or young women, it's very difficult to access. So during this time, like our hotline, we have a hotline for young women with crisis. The inquiry about unwanted pregnancy in the last year have, comparing to the same period of time of the year before, have been doubled.
Wow. We will share the hotline and all details at the end of this episode. FYI, if you're right now listening, but that's crazy that it doubled. And do you also get calls from girls that go the illegal route and try to get an abortion that way?
Yeah, like when you are desperate, you want to try like everything you can grab on, but it is very dangerous. We not recommend anything that is illegal, and we sometimes it's not only about illegal; it's unsafe.
It's life, it's
life threatening.
Really life-threatening.
Yes,
yeah.
We heard one girl called us before because she can't access to the safe abortion in Hong Kong. So I think she searched on the internet that some kind of drugs can help her to do the abortion, but it's not correct. But the worst thing is she have I think the whole pack. She ate the whole pack of the medicine.
Oh, wow.
So she is very not feeling well, sweating, very painful. So she called us. But when she calls, it's too late because she already took the pills.
Yeah.
And then we help her to call 999 immediately and then help her to the hospital. And that is the worst thing that we don't want to see. But under these COVID circumstances, it's not much we can do. We organized a webinar last month. It's a training for frontline social worker, the teachers, and we update them about the situations now that what they can prevent this happening. So we invite people from Mother Choice, from Hong Kong Family Planning Associations to tell them about the current options. Like you can still go to the family planning, but you have to go there earlier because they have a 10 weeks restriction. So sometimes the young women, because they are very panicked. So when they are still considering, they waste some time. So we encourage the social worker and the teachers, if you know that the girls have this situation, you should encourage them to think faster. You can still go to the family planning. If not, and you are not decide to become a mother yet, you can consider adoption. The Mother's Choice has a very good program to support young women who decide to put their babies into the adoption system. So we help introduce these informations to more profession who will engage with young women. Hopefully this can help, but it's the least thing we can do now.
Yeah, wow. And in terms of prevention, what advocacy work do you do?
Yeah, so for this unwanted pregnancy situation, we engage with the hospital authority and update them about the situations. So we got some information about the public hospital faster, and then note when they open and when they close for the surgery. And then we try to coordinate with the resources the society have, especially with family planning associations and other NGOs too. So we try to coordinate this information and update this information to the young people.
Do you also work with schools?
Yes, we do a prevention program with schools and NGOs too. It's a sexual health education program with them. So now a lot of education program changed to online, but we still have chance to engage with the young people. So for Teens Key, we think that comprehensive sexual education is very important to young people. We can't tell them, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this, because they engage with the information every day on the internet already. So we need to teach them or discuss with them as soon as possible. So our program, we have a workshop start from puberty, your body change, body image, to how to protect yourself, safe sex, sexual health, and also respectful and consensus. How's this important to build a healthy relationship with your partner? Maybe boys, maybe girls, but we think this kind of education is very important to young people.
So important. Can you share some numbers of unwanted pregnancies amongst like teens or under 25 in Hong Kong? Do you have some statistics?
Yeah, unfortunately, the government don't have this correct number. But we quote the informations from Mother's Choice. I think they hire or they fund a consultancy firm to estimate it's around 8,000 every year. It's not in the COVID period, so we don't have the exact number, but by the inquiry calls we have and also the connection with the other local NGOs, we know that the numbers increase a lot, and we can estimate next year, this year, there will be a lot of young mothers.
Starting conversations, educating, showing young women their choices. Teens Key work is instrumental to supporting this vulnerable group of young women. Before we continue on to hear more about how exactly Teens Key advocates and takes action, we want to highlight a Hong Kong-based podcast that also has Sustainable Development Goal 5 to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls at its heart. In the Changing Room is a podcast all about women in sport. Hosted by the very talented Sissy Redford, the conversations that she brings to the listeners are encouraging, empowering, and deeply touching as she finds out from the amazing women she interviews on the show how sport, in whatever form it takes, has changed them. Find In the Changing Room podcast over at instagram.com/inthechangingroompod and start listening today. Now back to the conversation with Teens Key.
Can we also please talk about how important your work is around sex education? Because everybody expects schools here in Hong Kong to teach the young generation, these kids, how to, use condoms, how the body works. But from my experience, talking and working with a lot of younger girls or the younger generation, there's not a lot of work that the schools actually do around it.
Yes. So in Hong Kong, first the policy, sex education is not compulsory for school. So it's just the Education Bureau, they have a kind of soft guideline for school who want to teach sex education. And the most updated one is at 1997.
From 1997?
1997. I remember at that guideline, they still have information about ICQ.
Oh, wow.
so it's just too long. And then because it's not compulsory, school can decide do they want to do it. And because in Hong Kong, for secondary school, that's high school, the local one is around almost half of them have religious background. So if their religious is think that, oh, we don't want to teach it, or I want to teach abstinence.
Okay.
It's okay for them.
Yeah.
The Educational Bureau don't have any regulation that how you should teach it.
Wow.
So apart from do they want to teach this, it's also how and what they want to teach. So a lot of NGOs actually offer sexual health education, and the school can order from the NGOs or partner with them. Hong Kong have around 400 something high school, and teens kids can only engage with about 20. And there's also other NGOs, but really depends on the school. Do they want to do it? And I remember atop our team, they have promoted education program to the local school. Some teachers just respond, "Oh, we don't need to do it. Our student is very innocent. They don't need it." So it really depends on the teachers, on the school. Do they want to teach it?
That's crazy. I did not know that it's up to the schools to actually educate on sex. I'm only mentioning it also because I recently had a chat with this younger girl. I mean, by young, I mean she's, early 20s. But for example, she didn't get sex education at school. And now that she started, having a boyfriend and having sex, she doesn't really know what contraception to use. And, she was talking about something like, oh yeah, she had to go to the doctor because she had some issues and because they were not using a condom. And then she also said, but if he's not gonna come in me, I can't get pregnant. And my friend was both like, oh my God. And yeah, we were freaking out. We're like, what should we do with her? Like, it was just mind-blowing because she goes to university here, to one of the good universities, and she's educated. For us, it's just mind-blowing to think about how can you not know about these things. So my friend, she was trying to tell her about the pill, and she just did not get it. She just did not get it. So we had to send her links and be like, you need to read through this, you need to watch this YouTube video. But we're also like, she's in her 20s. Why do we have to do this? My friend now sent her to family planning.
Okay.
So to actually talk about it with some specialists. We're not specialists. Yeah, that just, when you were talking about sex education, just made me think, why do schools not educate on it?
Yeah. So for Teensky, our approach is when we talk with the teenager, it's not only about the knowledge. You can access the knowledge on the internet. Like now, there's so many information online, but you need to pick the correct one. So we think the knowledge is important, but the awareness and the attitude is also very important. That the awareness is that you need to use condom to prevent HIV. The knowledge is how to use the condom, and the attitude is that if I don't use condom, I will get HIV, and then so I need to take the action to protect myself. Is even as a woman, I don't need to be embarrassed to talk to my boyfriend about, oh, I want to use a condom. So this is the attitude. So it's
and get tested. Even if you use a condom beforehand.
Correct. And then it is the attitude is very important is the key for the action part. Is sometimes we talk with a young woman and she said, oh, I know how to use the condom. There's a guideline at the condoms box. But when you ask her, oh, did you use it every time? She said no, because maybe she said, oh, I'm a girl. If I bring up about I want to use the condom, my boyfriend might think I'm a slut. I have so much experience on sex. So that's about the awareness thing. It's also about the gender equality thing, that as a woman, can you bring up that I want to use which kind of contraception or protection. And also sometimes is that she said, for the sex worker especially, they want to prove that it's different from their client. So you are my boyfriend, so I don't use condom, and I will use condom with my client. It's like proof that they are true love. So there's so much thing to not only teach, but we need to discuss openly with the teenager and know what they're thinking.
Yeah, I think, it's so important that you're doing what you're doing. And it's just shocking. Can you share some statistics that might also shock our listeners?
So we have a survey for the teenagers we engage with. So in Hong Kong, you think that we are a very like glamour city. Most people get educated, like you said, but like I remember almost like 80% of them have answered wrong about the safe sex method. Like we have some question about the myth, like, okay, using 2 condoms, it can protect you from HIV or pregnancy. A lot of them click yes.
Yes, oh my God. Yeah.
And then like only gay people can get HIV.
People also said yes to that?
Yes, there are some. So there's a lot of myth. I think that only 20% get all like around 10 questions correct. A lot of people get it wrong.
Oh my God. So if you're listening right now, use 1 condom and not only gay people can get HIV.
Yes. The correct answer is if you have sex and don't use condom to protect yourself, you can also have a chance to infect HIV too, another STD. And then a lot of people, especially when we ask them about the resources, that many people don't know that Hong Kong have free clinic for STD.
Okay.
Yes.
So Hong Kong has free clinics where they can test.
For STD. If you search, the clinic is called Social Hygiene Clinic. There's a few of them. So they don't call it like STD clinic because people don't want to get in a STD clinic, but they call it Social Hygiene Clinic. And their service is actually quite good and confidential.
And it's free.
It's free.
Wow.
It's free. So, but during COVID, I remember most of them had closed. There's another problem.
I think some friends of mine, they went to family planning to get tests. I don't think it's free, but it's still pretty affordable.
Yes, and the family planning, they also have some other like a pap smear and other very good quality tests can offer. But the social hygiene clinic focus on STD.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, also get a pap smear. Just go to all of these facilities if you don't use them already. It's really, really important. Can you tell us more about how you actually measure impact? I mean, you have so many initiatives.
Yes.
Some of them you have not mentioned yet, but how do you actually measure impact?
Yeah, so we measure impact in a very realistic way. For the different projects, they have different kind of measurement. For example, for the sex worker projects, we differentiate the impact with few layers. First of all, we have to ensure the girls' health. So we provide like around 400 HIV tests, free tests for the girls every year. And then we keep track for the cases that about how often they do the HIV tests. It's related to our awareness and educations to their sexual health. Our team will encourage them to take the test every 3 months. So we keep track of the girls, will they do the HIV test every 3 months. The success rate of the project is quite good. It's around 80% of our case will come back every 3 months to take the test. And also for other projects, we also have some soft skill training too. So we will measure their knowledge, attitude and awareness changes. As some projects, we will measure the confidence too, because we think for the young women, especially for the vulnerable young women we work with, a lot of them have the confidence issues, and it's related to how they implement their dream. Are they confident to set a boundary with their partners? So there's so many things that relates to confidence. So confidence is a key measurement for our organizations too.
And with your HIV testing, do you also test on other STDs?
We only do HIV and syphilis because it's the two most common STD appears in the young women's group. It's a rapid test, so they can come to our office. Only 15 minutes they can know the result. It's very quick and very accurate. But for other STD, we have partner doctors and clinic that they can go test it.
That's amazing. Can you share some statistics on HIV? How common is it in Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, and the most updated data I forgot is not very high rate, but it's around 4 to 5%. But it's more often at the homosexual community. So for the heterosexual community, especially the young woman is actually not very high. For Tinsky, for last year, we don't have one positive cases. However, we observed that the syphilis rate have been increased a bit. So we are a bit worried the community. If there's one positive case, it will like spread very quickly.
Really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it with COVID.
Yeah.
Best example, if you think it can't spread, think of COVID and then,
Yes.
Treat sexual diseases like COVID.
Oh, that's true. That's a very good prevention, like a slogan.
Yeah, like wear mask, wear condom. There you go. We figured out your marketing slogan for this year.
Okay, I will suggest to the team.
Yes. So with all the work that you're doing, some of it can also be dangerous. So how do you keep going when all the odds are against you?
Yeah, especially what Tinsky is doing, like sex worker, even unwanted pregnancy, even abortions. There's many people think that we shouldn't teach our girls about safe sex or like sexual health because it will encourage them. I even heard that people told me that you help the young sex worker, that means you encourage them to continue doing that. And we don't think so. We think that the least thing we can do is offer them protection and be non-judgmental and give a safe space to this community. No matter they're sex worker, they become mothers at very young age, or they gone for abortions, they already have a lot of difficulties and they struggle too much. At least we can have a safe space for them, and then we guide them in the right way to make a smart decision at their future. When I start the organization, it's a bit more difficult to let people understand because I was young too. So I have so many experience that I was the youngest person. Like I was 22, 23 at that time at the meeting table. Like sometimes when I have meeting with like the government or the police official, like we have meeting about how to protect sex worker, about how to make a better like AIDS prevention policy. And then so many times I raise my hand and no one see me, or like people don't want to hear from me, or they think, we shouldn't do it in this way. But I think we need to prove the fact for them with data and with the stories of the girls. For Tinsky is that like it's related to public health. It relates to our next generations. So we stand very firm about the value we have is that we have to provide a safe space to the most marginalized community, the young women in Hong Kong. And we need to take a step ahead is that we need to be comprehensive about our sexual health educations. So I spent like last 10 years to prove to the public about this. I think some people know more understandable about what we are doing now, but I still need a lot of work to do.
Yeah, how do you make yourself heard if everybody ignores you?
I think it's a very good strategy for every young woman too. My strategy is to find your partnership before the meeting. So I tried my best to send emails to schedule meeting for some person in the meeting individually first and try to engage with them. I spot like 2 or 3 people, they might support my opinions, and I try to communicate with them before the meeting. And there's a few times that I remember during the meetings, no one I raised my hand so hard, but no one want to. Okay, Bowie, you say. But the person I communicate before, they understand what I'm thinking and they want to support, and they with like a higher authority level, they might help. And a few times it's like, okay, they pick out, I want to ask question, and they say, Bowie, do you want to say something? And I'm so appreciate what they help. So you need to find your partnership during this situation. I think it's so helpful.
That's a great tip, especially for introverts and how to get your point across. you're Asian, you also look younger than you are. I have the same issues. So I think we face also a lot of struggle of, getting taken seriously. I think also if you work on something like Teensky, do people also think that, oh, you're a teenager? Are you still in high school? Are you a student?
Yeah, like especially as an Asian, I think we have a younger look. And when I start the organization, I try to pretend that I'm not that age, like what I'm wearing, the makeup and the hair. But
they still see you. They
yes,
still think that
it's
you
a
are
silly thing.
Yeah,
Business.
useless tip, because people still see your face and they're still like, no, you're 20, even though you're not.
And you are not a well-known person too. So it's okay. Like when I look back, I think you just need to focus on what you are good at and then do a good work, and then people will see. And at the meantime, find your partnership, build partnership with people, meet with more people, let them understand, and the outcome will be good eventually.
Yeah, I agree. What were some of the struggles that you had to encounter within the last few years?
I think still the same, and sex education especially. For NGO, our income mostly from donations and from individual and some foundations philanthropy. And not many of them agree with sex education is important.
Okay.
Yeah, we heard that sexual health struggles is common for teenagers. They will overcome it. So why should we invest to this project? Or the school will teach it, or the parents will teach the teenager about sexual health. Why should we support or why should we donate to this project? However, it's lacking of sex education is just a long-lasting issues in Hong Kong. And during COVID, you can see the outcome come out. There's already free newborn baby abundant in Hong Kong during the COVID. If you notice, one of them from the newspaper is said a 17-year-old young girls. For us, we know that because the school have been closed, the teenager, if they get pregnant, they don't have anyone can ask to help. We got a call from some school is that when some students go back to school for last few months, the teachers found out they are pregnant, but already 6 months or 7 months, because they haven't seen each other for a very long time. So there are no support for them even more. So it's just COVID is just a signal for us that the sex education is so important to them, and it relates to sexual violence, some cyberbullying, and then unwanted pregnancy, STD, HIV. It relates to so many things. So this one we want to do more in the future and let more people know. We should talk this more positively with our young people. But we can see the challenges.
Yeah, I also see that there's so much pressure on girls in Hong Kong at a young age already from society and the families. You don't need to just have good grades, but you also need to look. You need to be thin.
You need to be a well-behaved woman.
You need to be a well-behaved woman, exactly. Do you also work our mental health with girls?
Yeah. We found that it's also very important for the young community too. For example, for the young women we work with, financial is one core issue. Health is one core issue, and also mental health. If you don't have healthy psychologically, it's very difficult for the girls to plan for their future. If you are still depressing, if you are struggling with drugs problem because you're depressing, it's very difficult for you to work with her about, you should think positively, you should find a job. It's very difficult, and it's not a very short term projects. You need to talk with the girls very often for a long time. It's have been very challenging for the last year because we can't meet with the girls in person during COVID. our social worker work very hard to like call them, to schedule like online meetings with them. But we think that is still lack of in-person interaction is still challenging. But we can see how the mental health impact the girls' like health at the past year.
Did you also see suicide rates increasing last year?
I don't have the data now, but we have a survey to our community. There's around 200 of them replied. We asked them to give a score for their stress level from 1 to 10. 10 is the maximum. Half of them is higher than 8 to 9.
Wow.
Because it's all interrelated, because of the financial situation, because of the schools homeschooling situation, because of the future. So we can see that they are highly impacted now.
Wow. Yeah. Always, if I look at before I moved to Hong Kong, you just look at it and you think it's such a world city, but then you actually uncover all these layers of society. And as we also talked about before, every fourth person in Hong Kong lives just above or underneath the poverty line already. So it's really shocking, and it's so great that you do the work that you do to really help people, because you're so like niche in a sense. There's a lot of struggles from like fundraising, right? Because you say that the money goes into these initiatives. So if somebody, for example, doesn't want to support it, they're like, I don't want to give you the money. It's not as easy as it just like, oh, I'm going to help young kids. Generally speaking,
yes.
Yeah.
But we found that there's a lot of donors actually are really open-minded. Especially we have a lot of awesome women's donors. They might be mothers on expat Hong Konger, but they, as a woman themselves, they find it's really important to support young women.
Yeah.
They want them to be educated with sexual health and other gender equality as soon as possible. So we are really appreciate that we have such a nice community to support us.
Yeah, it's really great, the work that you're doing. So if we speak about SDGs, Teens Key fits under SDG 5, which is gender equality, which is basically about achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Can you tell us more about how Teens Key ties into this SDG 5?
Yes, I think like most of projects relate to it. Start from the beginning, the most vulnerable one, the sex workers. We found that if we don't solve their problems, like help them get away from the poverty line, help them become independent, it's really difficult for them to have the skills and ability to achieve what they want. For us, the gender equality is that no matter where you come from, no matter which class you come from, your background you come from, you were sex workers before or young mothers now, you can achieve your dream and do what you want to do. So for Teens Key, we try to help them come across their difficulties and then enrich their life skills so they can do what they want to do. So same as the sex worker and the young mothers. And then apart from that, across all programs, we try to give them the gender equality and also the gender awareness workshops and from the personal counseling too. It's very on the ground for my observation, because it's just your everyday life. For the young mothers, like when they have a babies, do they think that they can go out for work? I remember one young mother told me that, oh, I become mother now. It's my responsibility to take care of the babies. So my boyfriend can go to work to earn money. Even her boyfriend didn't.
Okay.
So he restrained herself. No one told her not to go to work, but she restrained herself to the myth about the gender's role. We think it's not a healthy thing, even for the her boyfriend too, because her boyfriend is also very young, like 17, 18. He also have a great stress about the responsibility to raise money to support the whole family. So for us, the gender equality is not only benefit women, but also men too, because it's about breaking the norms, restricting both sex. So for us, we try to merge this to the everyday life. We tell these young mothers, it's not only your boyfriend responsibility, it's as a family, you both have certain responsibility. You can discuss again how to spread the word of taking care of babies, or do you want to take some part-time job to help your boyfriend too? So this kind of work is not only about, we have a lesson about gender equality. It's about how to merge in the girls' everyday life.
Why should we all care more about SDGs, or what can we as an individual do more around it?
Yeah. This is a very important question, because SDG for most people, it sounds like very far away. But actually, I think it's very good for the whole world to have a united goal. Even for now, we can only contribute a bit of it, but we also have a goal to look at. So I think it's a very good benchmark for us to review our policy, our work as an NGO, and also as a normal person. Like, do you teach your kids about gender equality? Or you talk to your girls, you have to well behave, you have to become a good housewife at the future. So as an individual, I think we also have to reflect ourselves that, do we restrain ourselves with the traditional gender role, or can we learn more or listen to different kind of women's story to inspire ourselves about how to become a more gender equal society?
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today with me. Before I let you go, I have a fire round for you with 3 questions.
Great.
So, who inspires you in a way they tackle the Sustainable Development Goals?
Malala.
Why does she inspire you?
Because from her cultural background, it's really difficult to teach people about gender equality, but she did so well now, and even established her own philanthropy fund called Malala Fund.
What could everyone do to make the world a better place?
Reflect on yourself every day about did you do enough for the world today, and then do better for next day.
Making an impact to me means
do better work at my organizations every day.
All right. Thank you so much, Bowie. Can you please now, the important part, share where can people actually find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can search Teens Key and at Facebook, and also you can send email to us. Our email is info@teenskey.org.
And what's your website?
www.teenskey.org.
So yeah, if you want to get in touch with Bowie or with Teens Key, find them on their website. She also has all the resources there. You can also find all the resources in the show notes. So I will link to everything we discussed about. But I hope this was really educational also for you. I learned a lot. Thank you so much, Bowie.
You're welcome.
And also, call to action. Is there anything you would love for our listeners? How can they actually help you?
Yes, we really want to launch a campaign for teenage sexual health education this year, but we still lack of resources. We are doing fundraising currently. Our goal is to hold a call center for all teenagers have sexual health crisis. So if you are interested, just talk to us and donate and support us.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a conversation. I learned so much, and I want to encourage you to get in touch with Bowie and the team at Teens Key if you feel inspired by her story, what I am sure you are. Find them over at teenskey.org. You know, one thing that is so incredibly encouraging on this #impact journey that we have been on for 4 years is that we get to connect with all these brilliant, innovative, hardworking individuals that show up for making an impact every single day. Bowie said it so well. All our contributions on an individual level count. They are really important so we can achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. This season, we also invite you to share your impact story, because we're sure that you make an impact in your own individual ways. Let us know how. Reach out to us at #impact.com/story. There you find a storytelling guide so you can, just like our guests, share your stories in the most intimate way so that it truly resonates with the listeners that are tuning in here. Tell your story so it truly makes an impact. We got you. Thank you so much for listening today. Talk to you soon. Bye.